The top 10 ways to have your student loans forgiven. And I'm going to try to make this short and sweet. So I won't go into deep detail of the how-tos. I just want to let you know what exists, so that way you can do your own due diligence and dive into each one of these categories if it's something that you're interested in taking advantage of, because student loans are at an all-time high. And I honestly feel, a little sorry slash sorry, I'll just keep it at that word, but more so just I understand where they're coming from for those who dread the fact that they have all of this student loan debt, because it was a kind of setup. You feel as though you want to further your career and get a higher paying job, but over the years, degrees mean a lot less than what you thought they were, because it's not a real tangible asset. It's just a piece of paper. Nothing against you if you have a degree, which is why I'm doing this video, because I feel it may benefit someone else. But here are the top 10 ways that you can have your student loans forgiven. Also, as it relates to student loans, it helps with your credit score if your student loans are on track, intact. So with that being said, somebody who may have a ton of student loan debt may also have less than ideal credit. That being said, if you want access to the free credit class, be sure to click the available link below so you can take full advantage, get access to your free credit class, and that way you can understand how credit works and you can dominate as it relates to your credit. Or if you need our assistance, that is also available below. Now, let's dive into the top 10 ways to have your student loans forgiven. Hello, you got Mr. Smith, 0.5 of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and in this brief video, you already know what I'm about to talk about. The top 10 ways to have your student loans forgiven. If this applies to you, then look into it and figure out what you have to do in order to make that happen. And I got my cheat sheet here because I didn't want to leave anything off. Now, of course, there are some other ways, but these are some of the ways that I think can have great benefit to many based on what your career interests are. And you'll see why I said career interests. A little green tea mixed with a couple of good herbals. That being said, number one, join the military. By joining the military, a lot of times the military pays for your school anyway. But if you join the military, you already have student loan debt, then there are programs set up that can help have those student loans forgiven. That's number one. Told you I was going to blow through and let you do your own due diligence. Number two, become a nurse. Many people are interested in becoming a nurse anyway due to the essential things that they do and provide for the world as a whole. So that being said, becoming a nurse, there are certain things that are available that can allow you to have your student loan forgiven. Look into it if that's something that interests you. Number three, work with the disabled. There are programs that are out there that allows you to work with the disabled, but also position yourself to have your student loans forgiven. So if that's something you're interested in, like say for example, you're interested in becoming a CNA, then that may be an angle that you can take and find out how to go about qualifying for that program. Number four, tribal university faculty. So become a faculty member of a tribal university. Basically, this is a university that tends to serve Native American, Alaskan Americans, things of that nature. And they have different programs as well by you serving on the faculty that can allow you to have your student loans forgiven. Number five, join the Peace Corps. And basically, you'll join the Peace Corps as a volunteer. So it allows you to volunteer at different places. Some could be out of the country, but some volunteering with the Peace Corps and the programs that it's connected and tied to can position yourself to have your student loans forgiven. This goes hand in hand with number six. You can join an American Corps Vista and look into these. As I stated, look into these for yourself. But you can join an AmeriCorps, spelled exactly how it sounds, AmeriCorp. Vista, VISTA. Join AmeriCorps Vista and see what programs they have out there to allow you to position yourself to get your student loans forgiven. Now, I will say this, with anything that I'm listing, make sure it's something you have a true interest for beyond getting the student loans forgiven. That way you go into it the right way, because no need for you to be working with the disabled if the only reason why you're doing it is to solely pay off the student loan. Make sure you have a heart and you care for the individuals that you will be serving in any of these career choices. That includes being in the military, that includes being a nurse, that includes working with the disabled, as well as the other things that I'm about to list. So make sure you have your insides intact before you go serve someone, and in the benefit is only to have your student loans forgiven. Make sure you care about these career fields first and foremost. Next up on the list is number 7, become a teacher. And that ties into everything I was just saying. Make sure you have your heart intact. Becoming a teacher, you see it's a lot more students than teachers. And when things took place in 2020, we realized the importance and the value of teachers when parents had to start trying to teach from home, and a lot of them couldn't handle the workload, or they didn't have the ability, or they weren't in the proper situation to handle the workload. What do I mean? Basically, many people were working jobs where they couldn't stop their job in order to fully go into teaching their children. We were fortunate enough to where I was able to take on the responsibilities from a financial standpoint while my wife is in there homeschooling, teaching our children with the curriculum tied to a school that we chose. That being said, not everyone has that scenario, but teachers are very important. So if that's a career choice or a career field that you want to dive into, it's very well needed, very important, and it could position you to have those student loans forgiven. But make sure your heart is in it when you do it. That being said, in addition to that is an extension of becoming a teacher, become an educator. And this is more of a broad standpoint, because it could be speech pathology, this can be a librarian, this can be just a lot of different fields. But becoming an educator in different areas revolving around the school, now you position yourself to possibly get those student loans forgiven. Number 9 is become a firefighter. Become a firefighter. A lot of people want to be a firefighter anyway, and some of the women who might be looking at this video, a lot of women from what I hear love firefighters. You know, that's something that they like. And if you're a fella and you want to get in that field for whatever reason, whether you want to make sure you're saving people when opportunity calls itself, or if you just want to benefit from everything that comes with being a firefighter and setting yourself up to have a career that will be around, to the end of time for the most part, then becoming a firefighter can also position you to get those student loans forgiven. Last but certainly not least, becoming a police or correction officer. By becoming a police or correction officer, you position yourself to serve humanity as a whole, and you definitely gotta have your mind and your heart intact in that area. Not to position anybody to overutilize your authority. Nothing like somebody who overutilizes their authority. But if you have a good heart for empowering and helping people in the community that you'll be serving, then it's just a bonus that you're able to position yourself, once you find out about the right programs that go along with it, to get those student loans forgiven. And like I stated, if a person has student loans, many times their credit is less than ideal. How do I know? I see clients all the time who have a ton of student loans, and it offsets the good credit score that they could have. But on the same token, it's also positioning people to have good credit history and good payment history, because sometimes their student loan is positively affecting their credit. So it's a give and take. But if you have a lot of student loan debt, or more than you would like to have, consider these career fields. Or you may already be in one of these career fields and just didn't know that it was a program designed that can possibly help you to get those student loans forgiven. So hopefully this video has served you well. Share this with somebody you feel may benefit. Share this with somebody who is in one of these career choices that didn't know that they can have their student loans forgiven if they look into the information a little more thoroughly and see what programs they have to connect with in order to have their student loan forgiven. That's all I got for this video. Mr. Smith, signing out. Salute.